Before I forget, because like I said, I am solo today. I don't want to forget anything like that. Today's show is brought to you by wrong button. DraftKings Sportsbook, man. Shout out to DraftKings. We know the top rated sports booking app in all of North America. Safe, secure, and most importantly, they are reliable. And we know it's wild card time, man. Playoffs are here, man. And what better way to get involved than to, add a little incentives while you are watching the games, man. And the best way to do that is, to download the app, DraftKings, right? And when you download the app, especially my new customers out there, you make sure you use the promo code Moats. Why? Because when you make that first bet of $5, you will receive $200 in bonus bets. It is a great concept, man, and it just adds to the fun as a whole. But at the same time, I understand we can get lost in the sauce, and it can get a little crazy at times. And when that happens, you know what you got to do. You definitely got to tap in, man, because obviously we see a couple of things going on up here, man. We got the gambling problem people. The people that are living in New York. You see the number that you can text. But I think everybody else, you see the digits to dial. They are 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty. But last thing, man, or I should say, I can't even say last thing. I actually got a couple of things I got to talk to y'all about, man. But GP, right? We know that was another name that had kind of come up, man, because it didn't have the best performance versus the Bengals. Then I think people were bringing up the scouts that were the anonymous scouts that had talked to the coaches at Georgia, or that were scouting him coming out of college, man, and all these other things, and didn't paint him in the best light, right? Definitely didn't. To me, you've heard me say it multiple times, man, and I said it ends once he becomes that fourth year guy. Regular season has completed, man. All right, so to me, man, I think once again, we know what Coach Tomlin has a track record of how he handles receivers. Why? Well, because we know receivers are different, man. We've seen that countless times now, and it's not just exclusive to Pittsburgh. If you think that's the case, I know you heard about that wide receiver in Miami that right after the game said, man, I'm out, I'm open, it's whatever. So clearly it's not just a us thing, right? But with that, though, man, Coach Tomlin typically does do an excellent job from my eyes of minimizing the radioactiveness, right? I was here when AB was here. So you can't tell me on GP what I've seen the AB. You feel me? I've already seen that. But to me, I just think the thing that we got to continue in terms of Coach Tomlin, in terms of those internal guys, man, got to just continue to give the positive reinforcement to GP. And the reason why I say positive reinforcements is this, man. I've been in those locker rooms. I've been around enough of these NFL dudes, these wide receivers, or just the guys that are superstars or have that type of vibe. If you try to big boy them, if you try to give them this, it's my way, highway, it's this, typically that isn't the response. You're not going to get the response you want. Usually they will go way more nuclear than conforming, and it's only worse now because you, as a receiver, to me, I think you have a lot more leverage just because of the nature of the position, and teams are a little bit more hungry for those guys because we know it's a passing league, right? You're going to sell tickets. Even if you're not going to help us win, you're going to get seats. You're going to fill seats, stuff like that. You're going to sell jerseys. So part of that you do have to factor in. But at the same time, we are kind of in that little bit of a crossroads where it's like, man, we got to button this up a little bit more as well, because it's one thing when it's, on field, up and down inconsistencies. It's another thing when it's internal in the locker room. But man, we can't have you on game day beefing with the fans. That's not a good look either. So that's the part for me where I just simply say, man, the positive reinforcements to at least let him know, listen, man, you can't change your past right now. Everything that has been out there throughout this year, throughout, your time in the NFL and your time in college, it is what it is. But what you can control is what it is going forward. Why is that important? Because, man, you can change the narrative. You go out here versus the Bengals on Saturday and you're showing positive energy. You're actually being an excellent teammate, man. You're not getting into it with people that you should be getting into it. I think that you're vibing on. I think that that'll be a vibe right there. I think it'll look good. No different than what we saw last year from GP. Right? Because a year ago, going into that Bengals game, man, the one where Mason starts, it's like, man, we were kind of on the tipping point of like, what is it going to be, man? But we saw how he was able to get back positive And then from there, the actions replicated that and we were good. So to me, I'm just hoping that for GP, man, it could be a similar case going into this Ravens matchup, man. Yo, it was loud again. It was hot again. All right, it is what it is. Cool. Let's go. How do we change that? Because we obviously know, man, off season is a different conversation. The reason why we're optimistic is because you still got another opportunity to change the narrative, change how people are viewing, change the conversation. And that's what you want to do. You want these opportunities. That's the best part about being an actual player. You don't have to hope and wish and pray that somebody else does it. You're in control. You got the sticks, right? So that's the part for GP where I'm looking at him and I'm like, come on, baby. If you want to be the guy that you fancy yourself as the fans, as we all believe you can be, it's like, man, this is the type of game coming up where you're going to have to show that. Now, the beauty is he also had this opportunity a year ago, right? Buffalo. We know how that game went. So I'm hoping also with that where we're saying, hey, man, this is what happened last time and how I responded, man. So now let me go out here and do it this way. And now let's see where the chips fall. I think that he can still be everything we want him to be. But I do feel like, man, it is getting to that witching hour, so to speak, man. And we're going to find out, man, sooner rather than later with him. But a couple other questions I had.